Hello and welcome back to another episode of Tiksu to UniTartu. Today I'm joined by Baiba. Baiba, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Baiba. I am from Latvia. I have been in Tartu for 8 years now, and I am 2 times alumni of Tartu University. So I did my master's in biomedicine, which was straight up followed by a PhD in biomedical engineering. Mm-hmm. And I have graduated. I graduated last September. It's been almost a year, and now I work physically still at the university.
So I know Latvia is not too far, but How did you choose the University of Tartu, and how did you end up in Estonia?
So I chose University of Tartu because of personal reasons. I did not. So I have previously I studied in UK for 5 years, and I went when I was 18, and pretty much shortly after I realized it's very foreign. I feel like an immigrant. It's very far from what I call home and my family and friends, and I really wanted to come back. And then after some time I did, and I lived in Latvia for 3 years, and I realized I don't anymore quite like there either. And the university is like, it's getting better, but it's not where it is compared to like on the European level or world level. Like it's a university, and but you can't. There's certain things you can't do there. Meanwhile, here, 250 kilometers away, we have a university that ranks much higher in all the ratings, where you can actually get world-class education, but very close to home. So that's why I finished so I have 2 bachelor's degrees. So one is from UK, and then the other one is from Latvia. So I finished my Latvian bachelor's, and then I decided to come for master's here. And when I started master's, I already knew that I definitely want to do a PhD. So awesome. I kind of a little bit strategically chose my my lab group based on, can I do a PhD?
Oh, so right when you started your master's, you already knew?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I told my supervisors like very early on that I would be interested in staying for PhD. So with that in mind, we already...
Oh, great.
I did my master's research project with that in mind.
Oh, it's so interesting hearing from different guests. Some people, maybe doing their postdocs are saying, I'm not sure what I'm going to do in 6 months. And you sound like you had it a point. So it's definitely a mix of people, but there's nothing wrong with that. So you mentioned before that you were, working for the university in some regards still. Could you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes. So now I don't work for university officially. I work in university physically. So my current job is I work in one of these like biotech spin-off startups. And it was... I started working there about 3 months before I defended my PhD thesis, and funny enough, it was like a exact continuation pretty much from my PhD research project. Okay. Like it, there are, of course, some things did change, but it's the same topic. It's the same methods. I can just use all the skills I developed in my PhD.
Wow, that's kind of exciting. I hear a lot of people when they, go and work after doing their studies, they're like, I don't use any of it. So
I use all of it.
All of it. So what are you doing in specifically?
Yes. So I need to start with a little bit of background to what I did in my PhD thesis. So my research topic, it focused on proteins that are called methyltransferases. So what these proteins do, they influence how different molecules in our body behave, to put it very simply. And what my company, the company that I'm currently working on, is doing. So what we are trying to do is we're trying to repair RNA. Remember, during COVID, we heard a lot about these RNA vaccines. So basically what RNA is this intermediate between genes and proteins. And these RNA molecules, they contain a lot of chemical groups added to it in certain positions, which then really influences how this RNA, what happens to this RNA in our bodies. And what we are trying to do in our company, so why is this important, these like chemical modifications? It's in different diseases, these patterns change, and this gives rise to like cancer and neurodegenerative diseases and then things like that. And what we are trying to do, we're trying to repair it, because our typically how how we have tried to treat different diseases is we treat the symptoms, but we sometimes the cause of it is so, let's say, small and difficult to get to that we can't really, we can only treat the symptoms. So basically we are trying to go deeper into the disease mechanism to try to
So basically like curing the root cause.
Yes.
Okay. That's pretty awesome. So you've been in Tartu for a long time. It's very seldom that a guest has been living here longer than me. So you've got a year on me. Can you maybe tell me about like how your relationship with Estonia and even Tartu has changed from when you first moved here to maybe now?
I would say this is, I was actually coming back from Riga a few days ago, and I crossed the border and I saw the Estonian flag and I felt like home. So like I really, really like Tartu. I really like that it's so small, that it's so green and walkable, and you don't waste time sitting in traffic jams. Like when I was studying back in Riga, like my research institute was across the river, and I wasn't living in Riga at the time. I was living like about 30 kilometers away from Riga, and the commute from home to the institute took like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So that like living in Tartu just saves so much time. And I think about Tartu. So one of my the thing I would say I like the most is like the feeling here.
Yeah.
This feeling of just being in such an like intelligent place that like you feel the university and you feel all of that. And what
I think they say like 66% of all people living in Tartu are somehow involved in the university, either a student like or a worker here. So it is kind of that big community.
Yeah, and so my friend, a very good Latvian friend, is a tour guide. And so in Latvian, a capital city means galvaspilsēta, and in direct translation, it means head city. So my friend usually tells her tours that Tallinn is this head city, but Tartu is city with a head. So I think that like describes the city like really well.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like that. Do you have any maybe specific places in Tartu you really like to go to, or routines that you do here that make it special?
I would say, I live in Carlo. I actually live about 5 minutes from here, and I really like my routine of walking every morning, walking to work. It's like 30 minutes, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect time for a short walk. I think it's what comes in my mind. No, because summer is approaching. Is this? I'm sure you know Vaike Kuuba, which is a cocktail bar at the river. I think that is like very core Tartu.
It is.
Just have so for our listeners, like in this, I'm sure if you're students in Tartu at some point you will.
I was there yesterday. Actually,
I was there a few days ago. I'm sure if all the students will at some point end up there also. So basically, it's this bar where they sell these really nice mojitos in these really big jars. Yeah. And it's like very core summer in Tartu.
Yeah, you know it's summer once you see the flag outside and they open up the bar.
Yeah. And then you can sit by the river and have a really nice cocktail and enjoy the summer and enjoy the view. Now there's like a lovely promenade on actually both sides of the river.
Yeah. I think they're even building it up more. They're continuing to build on the river as well, so it's really nice. Specifically, your PhD. What about the city has kind of made it a little bit easier? Besides just being walkable, are there any advantages you've had living in Tartu that's kind of helped you, progress your studies?
I would say a big bonus is also that all our study programs, they're sometimes like interdisciplinary, that you might have lectures in different buildings. But for example, I know more about natural sciences, and it's really nice that sometimes you have some lectures in Biomedicum, sometimes you have in Chemicum, sometimes you have Institute of Technology, and they're like across the street from each other. So it's like really, like back when I was studying in Riga, we also had that we sometimes had like chemistry practicums in the Institute of Chemistry, but the Institute of Chemistry is like 40 minutes away from the main biology faculty, and so that I think makes like it quite easier. And I would say like in Tartu also I'm not sure if it's the city, but it might be also influence of the city that the lectures are very approachable.
Yeah. No, a lot of people have said that that we've had on and say that's like very approachable. It's very personalized, and it might just be the class size. Even in the bigger classes, I also felt that. Starting out my degree with 40 people in the class, I still felt like everybody was approachable in that regard.
And I would say also, coming from natural sciences, what a big bonus is in Tartu is that the students, they start their bachelor research projects rather early, and they very often get to do things that nobody in, like, let's say Cambridge or Oxford would let them even look at. Because it is quite all these like reagents and experiments, it is quite expensive. And sometimes the equipment that you use is rather expensive. For example, like in my old institute, like we have a microscope that costs €500,000. And we, like, of course we train the bachelor students, but at some point, if we believe the student is able to manage by him or herself, then you're free to use it without supervision.
Awesome. That's awesome. Not anybody.
So I think that's really you get to in the actual research part, you get to learn, I would say, more than you would in other places.
So you also had the experience of studying Latvia. I know it's not very far in terms of scale, but what would you say is the differences between studying in Latvia and studying in Estonia?
I would say the quality of the lecturers. For example, nobody ever came, like when I was studying in Estonia, I never saw any lecturer being drunk or hungover, which sometimes was the case in Latvia. I've heard it's gotten better, but that was 8 years ago.
Well, yeah, that is better.
Yes. And on a more serious note, I think there are differences in like teaching staff, because and in terms of teaching staff, it's the level of research of what they're doing. Like if you do compare like where researchers in Latvia and where researchers in Estonia, where they are publishing, what they are publishing, where they have collaborations, and how high the impact factor is, this like metric of how, to put it simply, like how good the journal is where you publish. These impact factors, they are constantly higher for Estonian scientists. I think I even saw that some 6 months ago or something, there was this news that Estonian scientists are like one of the most quoted in the world.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I think I've seen something like that.
Yeah, so basically, yes, you get to learn from top-class scientists.
Yeah, I definitely feel like the research here also maybe has a little bit more of an impact just because of, the sample size of what it's like being used for. Estonia is a little bit of a smaller place, a little bit more focused. Whereas if you, publish something in the States, it probably, goes off into the ether, but there's only so much being published here and, actually being utilized by the governments in these main institutions. So I think there's that kind of phenomenon, which is kind of nice about Estonia. But yeah, maybe culturally, I know Latvia and Estonia, I guess, are pretty similar from what I understand. I'm not Latvian. You're the expert. What would you say are like some of the big differences culturally between the two countries?
I would say as Latvians, I always thought Latvians are like quite unfriendly and closed off, but compared to Estonians, we are like very warm-hearted. Yeah. Well, I'm not. No, I'm just joking. But it is true that Estonians are very, very lovely, but it takes some time to get through the barrier a little bit. For example, like little things like saying hello to your neighbors. If you maybe like directly see somebody in front of you in a corridor, then you will get a hey. Yeah. But most of the time, like the person will pretend that he's not seeing you.
I try to walk a little bit faster so they don't have to get too close to you.
I have seen when I moved from Institute of Technology to Institute of Chemistry, then some of my new coworkers, they would say hello to me. when we're like walking past the corridor, but there were some instances when I'm like walking on the street, like I see the person and I'm pretty sure the person saw me, but he just looks away. And it's like, okay.
Interesting, yeah. No, I understand that phenomenon. But I mean, once you're past that stranger kind of
then
stage, then
lovely.
It's
like,
great.
yeah, we're very, very similar. Like Latvians and Estonians, we have the same traditions. And one thing that is like really funny, but that is also including Lithuanians, is that we pretty much like, we all have the same traditions. We all kind of like the very similar things, but and some of our traditions, they are very kind of pagan tradition based.
Yeah.
But we are somehow not that informed about what is happening in the other countries. Like we really think that this tradition is like ours and we are the only ones who have it. But actually the countries left and right.
And then you guys fight over who invented it?
Yes.
You know.
Yes. But I think, I don't know, I sometimes think that we would do maybe more as Baltic nations, not like Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia, like very independently.
Yeah. Do you have any habits you think you've maybe picked up that you didn't have before you moved to Estonia?
Oh, definitely. I think I'm much more calmer. And one thing that I definitely notice when I travel is that like in Estonia, all the digital services and they are great, and you can log in everywhere. You can do everything online. You need absolutely no cash anywhere. You can pay with your bank card. And when you travel, pretty much everywhere it's worse and you get really irritated. For example, like if you go to Paris and like this card slot where you have to buy a metro ticket is not working and you can't pay with card.
Yeah.
And they're just giving error message and there's nobody sitting in the till and things like that. They just don't happen here.
Well, you know what is really strange? You go out to some of the smaller towns and they still have like bathroom attendants. I think even at Baltium, they still, which is the like main railroad train station in Tallinn, there was still a bathroom attendant there like up until a couple of years ago. And that was like a big culture shock for me. But yeah, you're definitely right. The availability of like all the options for using your card, you buy it, purchasing a ticket, and even all like the governmental and health services are just
health
like
services,
great.
the websites, and like they all work always, and it's perfect.
I recently went to the doctor here and I was like, how do you know this about me just from my ID? It's crazy.
And I really love that, like if you do have you can log into your health records and have a look at your like blood tests and whatnot and the previous ones, and it's all there in one simple place.
All your past prescriptions and stuff. It's really cool. It's kind of neat. Yeah. So if you were to move out of Tartu tomorrow, what do you think would be the number one thing you'd miss besides Vaikikuba?
Definitely the walkability. Yeah, just the vibe of the city. I would say.
Yeah, I feel it too.
Honestly, I think I would just miss everything about Tartu. I really like it here. This was one big worry when I was finishing my PhD, that like what I really, really didn't want to do postdoc. I didn't want to move away from the city. And I was thinking like, no, at first I thought I'm going to continue on with the academic career. But the more I thought about it, the more I didn't want to do postdoc anywhere. And you have to, if you want to carry on your academic career in Estonia, you have to do a postdoc somewhere abroad. And then, this opportunity kind of appeared out of nowhere, and I was very happy to take it.
Yeah, you got snatched up, and now you're able to stay in Tartu. That was awesome.
Funny enough, I found my job I found in the University of Tartu career days.
Oh, okay. We'll see.
Yes.
You need to be getting on the career days.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I actually was representing my institute, and I was walking around and saw a poster, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that people in Tartu are working on this." The company level.
Yeah, no, I actually got my first internship also just from a posting on the UT website. So, I mean, there are definitely a lot of opportunities like that the university supports. So it's really great.
And I would say that in Estonia also one really good thing is that the competition, of course, it is there to some extent, but is nothing compared to like UK or US. Like if you are a good student, then you will get where you want to get.
Yeah, definitely. So what's next for you? Where do you see yourself maybe in next year, next 3 years? Are you going to be here in Tartu still?
I would very much like to. Now, I do really love where I'm working at the moment. I love everything about it. I love the startup life.
Yeah.
It's really fun and it's challenging, and I really like what we're trying to do, what we're trying to achieve, and I really think our goal is very morally really good. And I do see, like, as long as the company does well, then I would very much like to stay here and carry on working. But of course, you never know what's going to happen in a few years. But now I would say 2-3 years, I will definitely be in Tartu.
Awesome.
I would like to buy an apartment here, actually.
Yeah. Hey, it's not a bad place.
Yeah.
Not a bad place. What are you most excited for coming up in your life, either personally or professionally?
I would say now I feel fully recovered from my PhD defense. So now I would say that I'm just looking, I don't know, even just continuing developing, and it just seems that life is going up and up and up lately.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm super happy for you.
Thank you.
And if you were to give some advice to somebody coming to Estonia for the first time or looking to come to the University of Tartu, what would you say to them?
First thing that comes in my mind is that Estonia, in the last few years, it is not the cheapest place to live. So you really need to think about how your parents can support you, or how are you going to support yourself, because I do know it from personal experience that if you have to worry about money, it can really take away from your study experience.
Yeah.
And Yeah,
there are positions available for foreigners in Tartu, but it is a little bit more difficult to find like a full-time position, especially while you're still studying.
Yes, and Estonian language is really difficult also, and in a lot of places like servers and stuff like that, like you do need the language.
Yeah.
So I would say that if you, for example, if a year in advance, you definitely know you want to come to Estonia and you're going to try to study here, there are online tools available where you can start learning the language, even the basics. I think that would really help.
Yeah, or even start figuring out the budget. I know that the international student ambassadors, they usually put out blogs about how to budget in the city and whatnot, and posting on the Facebook group, hello, I have €100 budget. Can somebody give me a place to live? Like a week before you get here is not the way. It's not the way.
And the inflation also, like it does get more and more expensive each year. So if you, let's say, if you start a bachelor's program, your budget that you had for year 1 will not necessarily work for year 3. That's also something to think about.
Yeah.
Hopefully it will not continue rising as much as it is, but you never know.
Awesome. So, Baiba, thank you for taking the time today. We loved hearing your story. Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
No.
No? Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, awesome. And I wanted to thank all the listeners. This is going to be our last episode of Tiksu to UniTartu for season 3. Thank you for sticking with us for 3 seasons now, and we're going to be super happy to see you next season. So thank you, and this has been Tiksu to UniTartu.